And we are pleased to be joined now by the incumbent congressman for the 51st District, Mr. Bob Filner.
Congressman, the economic situation along with the bank bailouts, the public has just been furious about this. And it's almost to the point that they're saying, and we've repeated this before, throw the bums out. I mean, these are not things we want to see passed.
But well, throw the bums out, but that doesn't include me, of course.
Well, no, but I'm just saying as a general rule of thumb across the country,
there's incredible frustration, and the economy has not, recovered the way we want. And I've differed with the current administration, who is doing what I call a trickle-down theory. You throw money at the big guys, the big banks and the big insurance companies, and somehow it'll trickle down to the rest of us. Well, I'm tired of being trickled on. I think we should build the economy from the bottom up. That is, you give to small business. You make sure that the small banks are surviving and helping our local residents from being foreclosed on.
But in reality, that's done nothing so far for the jobs. Even though we're expecting a pretty good job report tomorrow, most people still are out of work.
Right.
Most people are still, saying, you don't understand us. You're not listening to us in Washington right now.
I think we're listening, but you have a political situation where you have two parties, sometimes evenly matched, and it's difficult to come out with a consensus on a policy. I think that the full stimulus package is not taken effect yet. I'll just use one that's going to be crucial to San Diego. We put literally tens of billions of dollars into an alternative energy support system. And San Diego and Southern California are going to become the alternative energy capital of this country. And there's going to be money for small business, money for research, money for development, for manufacture. I think when that money becomes fully available, you're going to see a change in San Diego right away.
Congressman, let's talk about some of the controversial decisions and why you voted the way you did, starting off with your vote on health care reform.
Controversial?
Controversial.
Everybody in my district loves it. No, I voted for the health care reform. I had problems with some of it. But look, I'll give you one statistic. I have 140,000 people in my congressional district who do not have health insurance. After this bill takes full effect, there'll be 130,000 of those will be covered. No child and eventually no adult can be denied for insurance because of so-called pre-existing condition. Young people will be able to stay on their insurance, their parents' insurance policies through age 27 instead of 23, so they can stay it while they're in college or trying to figure out their way. There are all kinds of restrictions on the insurance companies taking away your coverage if you use a certain amount of money or you get a certain sickness. So we have made some real improvements in that, and at a real savings for the taxpayer, because you have modernized the whole system with electronic records. But if people can go to a doctor without having to wait till they're really sick to go to emergency room, our whole nation will be healthier, both physically and monetarily.
But by the same token, that sounds good and well, but most people are seeing the pocketbook issues. They're saying, why don't they get it in Washington? We need jobs. We need to put food on the table. We need to pay the rent.
We need
health care. Health care is something we can deal with later.
Well, you need both. It's part, a good health care is part of a family's income, because we have people having to bankrupt themselves to get health care. But they go together, and yes, we have to do a much better job about creating the jobs that Americans need. And as I said, when you look at a place like San Diego, which has the base of the military, the active duty military, which has expanded here, if you add that to the new economy of alternative energy, solar, geothermal, wind, you're going to see a real turnaround in this economy in San Diego.
Obviously, a hot-button issue that everybody's been talking about lately. We keep mentioning it, Arizona's new immigration law. What is your stance on that?
Well, I think it's un-American. That is, as you heard Mayor Sanders say, and he was a former police chief. Police chiefs I talked to, the sheriffs, the mayors, don't want this law because it prevents the cooperation between the public and the police that we all need for police protection. So on that level, it'll make Arizona, I think, less safe. More importantly, I think what has made this country different from every country in the world is that we don't need papers to prove that we are citizens. That's the first step a totalitarian society takes, identity papers. And yet, in Arizona, they're going to be asking people who will be racially profiled, there's no question about it, for their papers. And if they don't have them, And if my wallet's now in the car. When I'm out jogging, I don't have papers.
But on the
in Arizona, I could go to jail for that. That's anti-American.
On the other side of that coin, isn't the language in the federal law much tougher than the Arizona law?
But you're leaving it for different people to enforce it for different reasons. What this will encourage is and police in Tucson and Phoenix have said this. The only way that the probable cause is there is if you look Latino. I think that's a horrible statement that racial profiling will take place if this law goes into effect.
All right, Congressman Fellner, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks
for joining
again
us.
for being here. Okay, when we come back, our look at the race for the 51st Congressional District is going to continue.
That's right. We're going to talk to the Republican Congressman Fellner will be facing in November. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.